equipment, core, glutes, and back workout today. So you're just gonna clear a little bit of space for yourself and meet me laying on your back. Bend your knees and bring your feet to the mat. You can rest your hands on your belly here. Walk your feet out wide to the edges of the mat and just start by windshield wipering the legs from side to side. That's it, really simple. Going as fast or as slow as it feels good for you. Opening up through the low back, through the hips, and then just checking in, see where your body's at today, right? This class is gonna be about 30 minutes, and you're really gonna be working the whole back side of the body, which is such a great counterbalance to all the time we spend focused on the front side, right? One more time, either side. Big inhale. Big exhale. Maybe back at center. Walk your feet a little more narrow so your heels are in line with your sits bones, and let your arms extend long on the mat here. Take an inhale. As you exhale, I want you to push into your heels. Scoop your pubic bone towards your belly button and then roll it up to a bridge. At the top, push down to the heels. Inhale, lift the hips by squeezing the glutes. And as you exhale, reverse that. Rolling down, really slowing down and trying to lay one vertebrae at a time on the mat. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, push through the heels, pubic bone scoops up, and you roll up, making sure the rib cage isn't flaring open. So the ribs are still wrapping in and drawing down. Inhale, squeeze the glutes. Exhale, reverse, roll it down. Slowing down right around the mid-spine to really articulate. One more time, inhale. Exhale, push through the heels, squeeze the glutes, roll it up. And then this time I want you to hold at the top. Take your hands to your ribs. Really actively draw them in and soften them down. So use that exhale to really draw the rib cage down. And then send the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, draw them back down. All the way to the mat. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, they press down. So this whole time you're holding your glute bridge. And you're really noticing as your arms sweep up overhead, if you're allowing your rib cage to flare open. One more time. Inhale all the way up. This time as you exhale, stop halfway. Fingertips are reaching up towards the ceiling. And then take a fly. Inhale, arms open. Whoop, I'm in the walls of my way. Exhale, arms closed. Keep going. Fly. I'm going to go ahead and bend my elbows here so that I can do this exercise without smacking the wall. Really feeling your shoulder blades spread wide. And your shoulder blades squeeze together. And you can really feel it here because your shoulder blades are into the mat. You can feel that movement across the floor here. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Hold that reach up towards the ceiling. Squeeze the glutes, lift the hips. And then exhale, roll it down. Keep your arms where they are. Take an inhale, lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, float the legs up to your tabletop position. So knees are going to be just over the hips. And your toes can be slightly higher than the knees. Now, you may notice that as you tire, your knees are going to creep in closer. Really challenge yourself today to keep your knees stacked over your hips. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, ribs hug in and down. Sits bones squeeze together. Now it's going to be the the right arm and the left leg that are going to move on your next exhale. Take a big inhale. And as you exhale, reach arm and leg. Inhale, draw it in, switch. Exhale, left arm, right leg. Inhale, everything comes in. And as I exhale, you switch sides. So just a little dead bug series here. Really short opening core series. And you're not crazy warm yet, I'm assuming. Maybe you took a 3-mile run before this. I don't know what you got going on in your day. But assuming you're not crazy warm right now, your range of motion is going to be pretty small. And that's totally fine. Because the focus here should really be about your core activation more so than how big you can make this movement. So as you reach the limbs away from each other, you're going to exhale. And I want you to really find that on that exhale, you're doing 3 things. You're squeezing your sits bones together and lifting your pelvic floor. You're hugging your hip bones together on the front side of the body. So you're really wrapping the low belly down. And lastly, on every exhale, you're hugging the rib cage in and drawing the front low ribs down, in this case towards the mat. 2 more. Exhale, reach. Inhale, pull it in. Now 2 more to even you out. Exhale, reach. Inhale in, last one. You're gonna hold everything in. Now, if you prefer to squeeze your legs together here, by all means do that. Inhale. A little more intense as you exhale, both arms, both legs reach. Inhale, everything pulls in. Now here is when your knees are gonna start to creep a little closer towards your chest. So I want you to stop your legs before it feels like you're taking a break. So it should still be work just to hold your knees right over your hips. Where you really start to lose that work is when you pull your knees closer to your chest. Yes, it's exhale, reach. Inhale, pull it in. So here's where the ribs really start to flare open and the low back starts to arch. Your range of motion can be really small here. Maintaining the length in the low back is going to be the #1 priority, because then you're really working the core. 2 more. Exhale, reach. Inhale, pull it in. Last one. Exhale, reach. Now I want you to hold the knees over the hips. Take an inhale. Then as you exhale, you're going to curl head, neck, and shoulders up and off the mat, squeezing the sit bones together and bringing your eyes to look at your knees. Inhale, roll it down, fingertips reach up. Exhale, head, neck, and shoulders roll up so your sternum reaches towards your thighs. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale. Exhale, hold that curl. Now you have 2 choices. You can catch the back of your thighs here, or if you're like me and your neck gets really sore in core work, go ahead and take your hands back behind your low skull. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, I want you to twist towards the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist towards the right. Back and forth we go. Inhale, and exhale. Now, if you want to take this a little bit faster, you're more than welcome to do that. I'm going to stay pretty slow to start here and really focus on connecting my breath. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. So as you twist here from side to side, you want to notice if your hips, your pelvis is rocking. You really want to keep the pelvis as stable and unmoving as possible here. The twist is coming from your obliques. So your bottom rib is reaching towards your opposite hip bone. 3 more, twist. Inhale, center. 2 more, twist. Inhale, center. Last one, twist. Now I want you to hold it center. Stay lifted through the chest, but see if you can bring your palms to press into the front of your thighs. Now I want you to really press the heels of your hands into your thighs and feel how much work that creates in your abdominals. Now make it even more challenging for yourself by pulling your thighs back into your palms as you press your palms in. If this is too much, you can always lay your head down on the mat. Maybe close your eyes here. Notice if you have tension in your neck or your shoulders and really try to soften. You're absolutely gonna have tension in your biceps here just because you are pushing, but see if you can soften and lengthen everywhere else, your face, your neck. Big inhale, big exhale, press hands in the thighs, thighs into hands, and hold here. 10, 9, 8, use every exhale to get a little deeper in your engagement. Yes, you're here for 4, 3, curl higher, 2, hug your knees in, and rock side to side, letting your neck and your hips relax. Rolling over your favorite shoulder to come onto your belly. So now that you have that deep core activation, let's put it to good use. We're gonna take our legs, we're gonna externally rotate them so they're slightly turned out. And you're gonna bring them so that your big toes are out towards the edges of your mat. Now bring your arms to this goalpost position here and let your forehead come to rest on your mat. I'm gonna keep my head lifted so you can hear me, but you go ahead and rest. Now take a big inhale and lengthen through the whole back line of the body. So the tips of the ears pull forward. The toenails press down towards the mat. The quadriceps squeeze, the glutes squeeze. And we press our pubic bone down into the mat, really trying to lift the belly up. Inhale. And as you exhale, I want you to take your upper body and lift it up, floating it off the mat. Inhale, lower arms and forehead down to the mat. Exhale, push through the big toenails. Squeeze the glutes and lift up. It's inhale, lower. It's exhale, lift. Keep going. Now as you lift, see if you can focus less on lifting up and more on lengthening out. So it's like someone is gently pulling the tips of your ears forward here. So you're really pulling, lengthening outward and then lifting up. 2 more, lower down. Lift it up. Last one, lower down. Now I want you to hold this lift up and really push your big toenails into the floor. So you're squeezing the glutes and squeezing the inner thighs. Inhale, reach the arms long overhead. As you exhale, I want you to squeeze your elbows back into your side body and feel your heart pull forward even more. It's inhale, arms extend overhead. Exhale, squeeze, shoulder blades pull together. Now remember that core activation that you just did? On every exhale, you're still thinking about squeezing the sits bones together, hugging the hip bones in tight, and then really wrapping the front row low ribs in. And now, rather than pushing into the mat, they're going to be drawing up towards the ceiling. Exhale. Inhale, reach. 3 more. Exhale, pull. Inhale, reach. Feel the shoulder blades squeezing in. And reaching wide. Last one. Hold that squeeze in and send the arms long back behind you. Rotate your palms to face your thighs and just start to lift the arms. Go little lift, little lift, little lift. So here, feel the back of the neck get a little bit longer. So gaze is going to be down towards your mat. Feel your shoulder blades squeezing in towards center. And then really soften the shoulders down away from the ears. 8 more lifts. Go 8, 7, 6. You're here for 4, 3, 2. You're going to hold the lift of the arms. Take an inhale. As you exhale, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the quadriceps, and let the legs float off the mat. From here, I want you to squeeze arms and legs in toward midline and let them open back out. It's squeeze it in, release it out. Yes, squeeze it in, release it out. Now I want you to take that release out of the equation. Just squeeze everything in. Go squeeze, squeeze. Arms and legs are pulling in towards center. You're feeling your heels drawing in towards each other. And again, you still have that slight external rotation, that slight turnout in your legs. You're here for 8, 7, 6. You're here for 4, 3, 2. You're going to hold that squeeze in. Take an inhale. As you exhale, legs, you're going to stay as they are, squeezing in towards center. You're just going to lift the legs up. Go little lift holds. Go a little lift hold. So you're squeezing the glutes. You're firing up through the inner thighs. And again, you're really finding the pubic bone pressing down so that you can lengthen the low back. You're here for 4. You're here for 3. You're here for 2. Now I want you to hold the lift of the legs and inhale, extend the arms long overhead. Thumbs are going to rotate up towards the ceiling. And we're going to take little swims with arms and legs. Go a little swim, 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 swim. So it's opposite arm and leg. I promise if you don't think about it, it's what you're naturally going to do. You're here for 8 to a hold. It's 7. You're almost there. You're here for 6. Shoulders soft. Pubic bone pressing down. Go 4. Go 3. It's a hold in 2. Now extend the arms, extend the legs, and squeeze the heels in towards each other as you lift a little longer. 4. You're here for 3. You're here for 2. Drop the legs, drop the hands to underneath the shoulders and press up to all fours. Walk the knees into the hips and take a little counter stretch here. So round the spine, let the shoulder blades spread wide. Let the pubic bone and the crown of the head curl towards each other. And then maybe rock the hips side to side. Big inhale. Big exhale. Come to your neutral spine. Hands are going to be under the shoulders. Knees are under the hips. Right leg extends back behind you. Left arm extends forward. Point through that right foot so the big toenail is down into the mat. Take an inhale and lengthen the spine. Exhale, arm and leg float up. Inhale, they lower. Exhale, they lift. It's inhale, lower. And exhale, lift. Now here, we're going to start to work the right glutes. But we're continuing to work the back pretty deeply here. And you are 100% working your core as well. So again, every exhale, you come back to those three things. Ribs in, hip bones wrapping up in towards each other on the front side of your body, and sits bones squeezing together. Now as you lift up here, really use your exhale to lift the abdominals and keep the low back long. 4 more, it's lower. And lift. 3 more, lower. And lift, beautiful. Now if this is too much on your wrist, you can try coming to fist, or you can come down to your forearm. The last one, you're gonna hold the lift. It's a small range, go little press, little lift, little lift, little lift. Now I want you to actively pull your left hip back and shift a little bit more weight into your right palm. So you're not jutting your left hip out to the left here. You're really pushing down through the left shin and the top of the left foot. You're here for 8, 7, 6. You're here for 4, 3. You're gonna hold that lift. Take the left arm and the right leg out about 6 inches away from the body. And then as you exhale, you're gonna squeeze everything back to center. It's inhale, open arm and leg. Exhale, squeeze it in. Inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze. So now we're really asking a lot of our core to stabilize us and hold us steady in the center here. 4 more. Inhale, we open. Exhale, squeeze, lift the limbs higher. 3. Lengthen as you come back to center. Beautiful. Last one, you're gonna take everything away from center. You're gonna hold it there. You're gonna take little lifts of the arm and leg. Little lift, little lift, little lift. So left thumb is lifting up towards the ceiling. Right glute is squeezing and working. We're gonna come off the hands. The left forearm comes down to the mat in 8, 7, 6. Yes, you're here for 4, 3, 2. Left forearm down at a 45-degree angle. Now take these right fingers and tent them out as you rotate your pelvis and lift the right leg up towards the ceiling. So now I'm stacking my hips, taking my right hip directly over my bottom left one. Beautiful. From here, inhale, pull the right knee towards the right elbow. As you exhale, send that right leg long behind you. Stay with me. Inhale, lower the right leg to tap the floor. Exhale, squeeze the other right glute, lift it up, yes. So knee pulls in, leg presses back. You lower it down. You lift it up, keep going. Now really press out of your left shoulder here. So you're not dropping your left shoulder up to your ear. Left side obliques are wrapping in and up. And you continue to pull your left hip bone back. Yes. So you're not falling over towards the left here. Yes. We're gonna get a ton of work into both glutes. 2 more. Lift that knee high. Extend it out. Squeeze the glutes. Straight leg down. Straight leg lift. Last one. Pull it in. Send it out. Lower it down. Now I want you to hold this lift. Take little circles with that right leg. Little circle. Little circle. Does not matter which direction you are going because we're going to reverse directions in just a moment. Yes. Really small circle, like the size of a tangerine. You're here for 4, 3, 2, reverse your circle. Other way. Circle. Little circle. Now notice if you're starting to let your left hip drop down to the mat. Feel the left side obliques really lifting up to support you here. You're here for 4, 3, 2. Here's where it gets really fun. Inhale. Exhale. Yes, you can. On your next inhale, you're going to sweep your leg forward. Exhale, sweep it back. Inhale, sweep it forward. Exhale, sweep back. Now, as you sweep it forward, you're coming towards an L shape. It may not actually get all the way to that L shape, and that's okay. Yes. 2 more, sweep it forward. Sweep it back. The last one, you sweep it forward. You sweep it back. Now I want you to sweep that right leg forward. I want you to hold it there. This is it, lift it up, go little lift. Little lift, notice if you're falling back into that left hip. You've got this, lift the left obliques to support you. 8 in the hole, go 7, go 6, go 5. You're here for 4, 3, 2, hold it. Inhale, extend that right leg. Exhale, lift it higher, and then maybe you're feeling crazy and lift your right arm up to the ceiling. You're here for 4, yes. Child's pose in 3, whoa, you're here for 2. Child's pose, big toes together, knees wide. Sit your seat back toward your heels. Whew. Take a moment, maybe rock the hips from side to side. Maybe shake out the hands. Maybe take a tricep stretch. I'm just gonna spin around so that I'm facing you for the other side. One more big breath in, inhale. Exhale, let it all go. Find your way back up to all 4s. We have our other side. Extend the left leg. Extend the right arm. Pinky finger is down into the mat. Take a big inhale, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, lift arm and leg up. It's inhale, lower it down. It's exhale, lift it up. Inhale, lower it down. Exhale, lift it up. Keep going. Now, you know what's coming for you. Can you have the same sense of vigor, the same motivation, that same, I got this attitude that you had before you knew what was coming for you? I don't know about you, but for me, a lot of times on the second side, I kind of psych myself out. Like, oh, that's gonna be so hard. This is my weak side, whatever, you know, whatever that negative self-talk is that comes in. So whatever happens is what's gonna happen. Just stay with yourself, stay with your body, and really check in with how you talk to yourself before you even begin, you know? 3 more, inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. It's inhale, lower. It's exhale, lift. Last one, you're gonna hold the lift. Arm and leg, go a little up, little lift. Now notice here if you're locking out into this left side elbow, soften the left elbow just a little bit, and really pull your right hip bone back as you shift a little more weight into that left hand. Again, if it's too much on your wrist, your left forearm is there for you. You could absolutely do this on forearms. You have 8 more lifts, go 8, 7, 4, 3, 2, hold that lift, inhale. Exhale, squeeze the sits bones together, lift the belly. Now on this inhale, arm and leg are gonna reach 6 inches away from midline, away from center. And then you're gonna exhale, squeeze everything back in. So right arm reaches right, left leg reaches left, and then everything squeezes in and maybe lifts a little bit higher. It's inhale, open. It's exhale, squeeze. It's inhale, open. It's exhale, squeeze, beautiful. So asking a lot of your core. Every time arm and leg reach away from each other, you're feeling a little more work in the abdominals having to stabilize you. You have 4. And squeeze. Yes, back of the neck is long. Beautiful, 2 more, big inhale, big exhale. Last one. Now take arm and leg away from each other, hold them there. Lift, little up, little up, little up. Right thumb, left glute. Right thumb is pointing up towards the ceiling is where I was going with that. And then you're feeling your outer left glute really work here. Right forearm is gonna come down to the mat. You're there in 8, 7, 6. You're there in 4, 3, 2. Right forearm down to the mat. Find that 45-degree angle. Take that left arm out, tense your fingers, and then stack your hips. So open your left hip up toward me, stacking it over the right. That might give you a little more range of motion, lifting your left leg up. It might not, but play with that here. Pressing down to the right forearm. Inhale, left knee pulls in toward left elbow. Exhale, extend the left leg long. Straight left leg taps down. Straight left leg lifts up, yes. So its knee pulls in. Leg extends. Straight leg down. Squeeze the outer glute, keep going. So find here the right side obliques, really lifting you up. So your right shoulder isn't shrugging to your right ear here. Yes. Now you can really feel the energy of the right forearm pulling towards the right hip here. And that's gonna help build a little bit more strength in the lat and in the right side obliques to help you stay lifted here. Your right side glute is totally gonna fatigue because you already worked it. That's okay, you already worked that side. 2 more after you complete this one. Here we go, inhale in. Exhale, reach. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Last one, pull it in. Reach it out, yes. Now you're gonna hold this left leg lifted, little circle. Let's go little circle. Little circle, remember it does not matter which direction you go, so don't even worry about which direction I'm going. As long as you switch directions when I cue you to, you're good. Go 4, 3, 2, reverse it, go. Squeeze through your left quadricep to really extend this left leg straight. Go 8, 7, 6, you're almost there, it's 4, 3, 2, hold it. Inhale, extend the leg. Exhale, feel this right forearm pulling towards your right hip as your right oblique lifts higher. Now inhale, sweep this left leg forward. Exhale, sweep it back. It's inhale forward. And exhale back. Inhale. As you sweep the leg forward, really check in. Notice if you're shifting your hips back behind you towards the right. Yes. You have 2 more. Go inhale. And exhale. Last one, inhale. Now you're going to sweep this left leg forward. You're going to hold it there. This is it. Start to lift the left leg up. Let's go. Little lift, little lift, little lift. Notice if your hips are pressing over to the right here. Soften your shoulders. Soften your face. You have a hold in 8, 7, 6. Yes, you're there in 4, 3, 2. Inhale. On your exhale, maybe you lift the left arm up, finding a big balance challenge. Forearm plank is where we're going in 4. Leg lifts higher, 3. You're there in 2. Forearm plank, elbows under the armpits. I want you to walk your legs back, but keep your knees on the mat to start for me today. Hands press into the floor. Take an inhale. As you exhale, I want you to actively pull your elbow tips back towards your hips. So you're really firing up through the sides of the waist. Now on your inhale, I want you to squeeze your shoulder blades together, letting your heart drop down towards the mat. On your exhale, spread your shoulder blades wide and press the back side of the ribs up towards the ceiling. So shoulder blades squeeze in, shoulder blades press wide. It's inhale in, and exhale wide. If you're so crazy strong that you feel successful doing this on straight legs, do it. But maybe see what it feels like to be on your knees in this plank. And the reason that I say that is personally, I feel a lot more activation in my core when I take my knees down. If I'm looking to do really more full body, like shoulders and back and glutes, then straight legs is where it's at. 2 more, squeeze it in. Press it out. Last one. I want you to hold that press out of your shoulder blades. I want you to take a big inhale. And as you exhale, you're gonna wrap the sides of your waist in, and you're gonna really feel your low belly lifting up as you actively pull your forearms back towards your hips. Now, if you wanted to come to straight legs here, by all means, do it. It's a 30-second hold, and this is where you finish your class today. So close your eyes. I do have a clock running, I promise. And go inside. Use your inhale to lengthen, and then use your exhale to come back to those 3 things. Sits bones squeeze in, hip bones wrapping towards each other, and front low ribs wrap in and draw up towards the ceiling. Yes. You have 10 more seconds. Here, go 10, 9, 8, 7, yes, it's 6, 5, breathe, 4, 3, 2, child's pose, big toes together, knees open wide, arms extend out in front of you, and take some big deep breaths here. Let your forehead melt into the mat here. Let your shoulder blades draw down your back. Big inhale, big exhale. One more time, inhale. Exhale. Gently walk your hands back and press yourself up to all fours. Just for a moment, I promise. From here, take your left ankle to your right wrist and slide your right toes back behind you for a pigeon stretch. Now you can stay right here lifting the chest as you inhale. This might be plenty, or if you want to take it to a sleeping variation, go ahead and walk forward. Now if pigeon is just not something that works for your body, I would encourage you to take a figure 4 stretch. Whether that is laying on your back or seated is totally up to you. Really feel your left hip drawing back and your right hip bone pulling forward. You can drop the weight of your head just to let your neck take a little breather, you know. Join me here for 2 really big, deep, filling breaths. Inhale. Exhale it all out. One more time. Inhale, fill up. Exhale. Gently walk yourself back up, pressing back to your all fours position and switching sides. Right ankle to the left wrist, left toes slide back behind you, however much feels good for you. Inhale, lift the heart. Right here can be a great place to stay. It's a really nice hip opener for that straight left leg here. Or you can exhale and walk it forward, bringing a little bit more focus to the outer right glute. Right hip is pulling back, and the left hip is drawing forward here. You can let the weight of your head go, dropping your chin to your chest, or even resting your forehead on your hands. Two big, deep breaths. Ready? Inhale, fill up the whole backside of the ribs. Exhale, let it all out. One more time, big inhale. Big exhale. Gently walk yourself up. And this time, just come to a cross-legged position. Left arm's gonna take a big side stretch up and over. And then you're gonna switch right arm up and over, just side to side here. Keeping the sits bones anchored down into the mat. And opening up through the side body, through the back, through the shoulders. If it feels good to just hang out in a side stretch, you're more than welcome to do that. Last one, reach the right arm. Meet me back at center. Reach the fingertips up to the ceiling. Clasp the hands, flip the palms up, and really extend the bottom side of the hands up towards the ceiling, softening the shoulders and softening the ribs here. Maybe take a little movement. Inhale. Exhale, arms release. And that is your class for today. Amazing work. I hope you loved it. I hope that if you enjoyed this class, you'll consider subscribing to the channel. I have new barre classes every Monday. Yeah, have a great day. Amazing work. I'll see you again next week.